flood is a story that's not only talked about in the Bible. There's actually a story about a great flood in almost every single civilization and culture all around the world, and China is of course no different. But this story does not involve an ark nor tens of thousands of animal lovers, but it does involve an ancient hero. Now, I don't want to give away too much, so here's the story.
Around 4,200 years ago, there occurred a great flood that destroyed almost all the civilizations on Earth. The Emperor of China, in order to save his people, went to the top of Kunlun Mountain to beg for help from heaven. He was told that the flood was arranged and could only be stopped 20 years later by a person named Yu. Years passed, and one day a woman had a weird dream of a godlike man who called himself Saint Yu. He said he had a mission of controlling the flood and would soon appear on Earth as her son. 13 months later, Yu was born. When Yu was a little boy, he constantly watched his father leave home to help control the flood. One day, an old Taoist went to Yu's doorstep and told him that the flood was a worldwide disaster and that only those who can communicate with heaven and earth can deal with it. The master then taught Yu how to control the flood. He taught him to follow the nature of the water and do not fight against it. After Yu learned to control the water, he eagerly headed out to help his father to fulfill the mission of controlling the flood. When Yu found his father, he had just finished building a dike to keep the water in one place. This was a different method than what Yu's master taught him, and Yu realized that it was not following the nature of water at all. It was fighting against it. Unfortunately, the dike rose too high and collapsed. Yu's father was exiled and soon died filled with resentment. It turns out that Yu's father actually stole a power from heaven called swelling earth, which allowed the dike to rise. Yu was told by his father to finish the job of stopping the flood. He went to see the emperor and told him, "We must follow the nature of the water." The emperor was then reminded of the prophecy he heard 20 years ago on Kunlun Mountain. He realized that Yu was the chosen one and appointed Yu to the task of controlling the water. Yu had been married for only 4 days before he had to leave to fulfill his mission. During the years he worked on the flood, he only neared his house 3 times. Yet not once did Yu allow himself to see his family for fear of delaying his task, not even when he heard the wailings of his newborn son. Yu traveled the country to study geography, measure elevation, and mark river channels. He helped dredge riverbeds, which opened up river courses and allowed floodwaters to drain into the ocean. After 13 long years, the flood was finally under control. The emperor was so impressed with Yu that he passed the throne to him. Yu the Great went on to found the first dynasty in Chinese history, the Xia Dynasty.